Oh boy, okay. We're not on Facebook? Oh, okay. The internet was fussy tonight. I had to keep switching back and forth. I had to keep switching back and forth. Okay, I don't see anybody on here. Yeah, okay. Okay, I think that we're mainly with our dinner prep and with the fog. How are you guys doing? Good crew here tonight. We got to pray for Sharon, who has her stress test tomorrow. And so she's not here tonight. And Margie's blood BP has been running a little high.
It's really foggy over there.
And it's,
yeah.
yeah.
And then it's cleared up out here.
Okay, well, it's starting to set in here, so I want to be sure everybody's safe. So, real quick, we'll just kind of do this devotion style. We've got one person online, and I'm not sure who that might be. We might get some more joining us. But we're talking about the Jesus style, and tonight's lesson is called the Power Pyramid. Have you guys ever seen a pyramid? Just a pyramid, the shape of a pyramid. It's basically a what? Triangle. And the Power Pyramid. Oh, how's the fog, guys? Okay, we're gonna give a quick devotion and then pray. And there's some folks getting downstairs set up a little bit, and they're checking on our dishes and silverware. I think we got the table set up, and we've got one person online. I want everybody to be safe. So if you've seen a Power Pyramid, you've got the person at the top, right, and then everybody else kind of falls to the bottom, and the person at the top is kind of in charge. Think about if you were in charge of something, what you would do. Everybody likes to be in charge because you can boss people around and tell them what to do, and just kind of saying, here goes that, here goes that. We did a little exercise today with the 6th graders, and it was interesting to observe them. And I told them, I said, a critique I often hear is you guys have adults that are doing everything for you. And I want you guys to kind of do something on your own. I'm just going to observe and see if you guys can do this. I want you to create a skit as a class that reviews the story we talked about yesterday. But you're going to have to work as a team to see who's going to be doing what part and how you're going to decide it. And as long as you guys are working together well, I'll just sit back and watch. If it's not going anywhere and everybody can't figure out what to do, and if it's going off the rails, then you're going to force me to kind of step in and we'll do something about it. 2 out of the 3 classes could do it. The one class that couldn't do it, they kept arguing the whole time over guess what? Who was going to be in charge? No, I'm in charge. No, I've got this idea, and I got this idea. And the other groups, one group, actually it was both groups, somebody kind of stepped up and started taking the role, and hey, here's what we're going to do, and everybody just kind of stepped back and said, okay. So leadership at sometimes, even me as the pastor, you look to leaders for direction. If your leader says, I don't know what we're going to do, that you wouldn't have a lot of confidence in that. So everything I say tonight, we have to take that with a grain of salt. But I think for leadership to work, there has to be a humility on both sides. The one class couldn't do anything because everybody wanted to lead and nobody wanted to listen. And the other 2 classes were able to do it because someone, even though they weren't nominated, stepped up to lead, but people had the humility to say, okay, this person will work. And they listened and they kind of followed. And so really, for the skit to happen, both sides kind of have to serve one another. Someone had to kind of stand up and take charge and do that in a way that earned the respect of other people in the group. and other people in the group had to be willing to let somebody be in charge. But if you had to sum up in maybe one sentence or one phrase, how is leadership in the church different than leadership in the world? Because not just a pastor that's a leader, you have deacons, Sunday school teachers. How is leadership in the church different than leadership in the world?
If it's correct, if it's God-based, Bible-based, then it's led by the Spirit.
Okay. Excellent. Oh, yeah. Leadership in the church should be led by the Spirit. Okay. How else is leadership in the church different than leadership in the world?
Two different purposes.
Okay. What do you mean by two different purposes?
Well, I think leadership in our church is really for worship, for reaching out to God, trying to witness to others, to mind the business of the church, whereas the worldly leaders take care of political stuff.
Okay. Political things. We're kingdom of the world and kingdom of God, maybe so to say. We're serving two different kingdoms. Well, I think Jesus would say the leadership of the world is pretty much pyramid style. It's top down. And Jesus, well, I'll tell you a little quick story since we're doing this devotion style tonight. The mother of Zebedee's sons came to Jesus with her sons. I'm in Matthew 20 tonight. Matthew 20, verse 20. The mother of Zebedee's sons came to Jesus with her sons. She kneeled down to Jesus and asked a favor of him. Well, what do you want? He asked. And she said, grant that one of my two sons, I want one to sit at your right and the other to sit at your left in your kingdom. Well, that's a pretty bold mom, and thank you guys. And we'll let you give us a chance to speak and whatever we can do to help. We went and got started for the broadcast. But thank you. No, we're talking about leadership and the style of Jesus. And the mother of, by the way, who were Zebedee's sons?
Who were they?
James and John were the two. Are you having to take off?
No.
Oh, you're staying? Okay, because if you need to take off, I'll let you give some announcements now. Okay. Thank you. Carol's going to head up our lunch on Saturday. So, James and John, that's quite an ask. Jesus, I want one of them to be at your right hand and one of them to be at your left hand. And Jesus says, you don't know what you're asking. Jesus said to them, can you drink the cup that I'm going to drink? And they said, of course we can. What kind of cup do you think they're thinking about?
Probably wine.
Yeah, when the king is seated at his throne, he's got the head of the table cup, right? And he holds it up and makes a toast or makes a proclamation or whatever. And no wonder they're like, oh yeah, we can do that, right? Sure, we can do that. And Jesus said to them, well, actually, you will drink of my cup. But to sit at my right or left is not even for me to grant. Those places belong to whom they've been prepared by my Father. And when the other 10 heard this, they were indignant. They were pretty frustrated. They were pretty mad at the two brothers. That'd be like my 6th grade class. If two people said, all right, we're second and third in command, the whole class. And they weren't in on that, they're going to be upset. But first of all, when Jesus said, you will indeed drink from my, we know. When Jesus said, you will indeed drink from my cup, what does he mean? Yeah, my cup is suffering. My cup is servanthood. My cup, and you don't know this yet, but you will be drinking of that cup. But even so, who sits at my right and who sits at my left, the Father will prepare those places. So anyway, the 10 got word that they're making that request, and nobody called us to that business meeting, right? You didn't notify us, and what's going on, and you can only imagine how that conversation went. And Jesus called them together and said, you know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them. So how did the rulers of the Gentiles rule? If they're lording it over people. And the Romans would be probably the classic example of this. How did the Romans rule?
I can't think of the big word. Vicious is the only word.
Vicious, okay.
They were, yeah.
What was since we're talking about the style of Jesus, what was the style of Roman leadership? Okay, what was that king's style? How would it be harsh?
Highway, I mean, he executed people that didn't agree and whatever. And
Okay,
serve him
yeah.
and bring all your stuff to him.
We're in charge, and one of my students we did a leadership project, and one of my students played the role of imperialist. He wanted to build an empire, and it was really interesting the phrases he chose. He's like, "Yep, we're going to take charge," and he's like, "I'm going to tell people we're going to do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way." What was my student implying as the imperialist global? He was playing a role, thank goodness, I think. What was he implying?
Force.
Well, how could the Roman Empire make such a threat? Yeah, we're bigger than you. We're stronger than you. We can beat you up. We can intimidate you. So do what we say, or you will suffer. Lording it over people. So, yeah, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. I'm trying to think of what another student said. I don't remember. Yeah, I hope you don't have a death wish. That's what one student said. I'm like, oh no. so they were playing the bad guys, but it's pretty scary how these 8th graders could catch on to how the world works. You know, I hope you don't have a death wish. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. In other words, it's my way. It's not even the highway. It's my way, or you won't have a way. It's yeah. You'd be lucky if you get a highway. It's my way, or else. And Jesus, that's the way a lot of leadership works. People use their power. People use their authority to coerce, to threaten, to lord it over people by might, by strength, by ruling. And maybe that's what you think I'm here for. Because the Israelites were tired of the Romans doing that to them. And of course, once the Israelites got, according to them, what do you think the Israelites are going to act like if they get their wish? Right? If the Israelites are back in charge again, what do you think they're going to want to do? They're wanting to build an earthly kingdom. They want to bring back the kingdom of David. They want to be in power again. And how do you think they're going to act? Probably the same way the Romans acted towards them. So Jesus is out to break some cycles. Yeah, you're going to be at the Romans. Who's going to be your president and who's going to be your Secretary of State? And Jesus is like, no, not so with you. Verse 26. Instead, whoever wants to be great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and give his life as a ransom for many. How was Jesus' style? I mean, the extreme exact opposite of the Romans and the Gentiles. And the Romans said, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. It's our way or else. How is Jesus the exact opposite?
He actually does give them the choice.
Yeah.
Your choice, and he did everything
Yeah.
in love. He was serving them. He wasn't trying to.
Yeah. Yeah. If you think about it, Romans are going to inflict pain on you unless you do what we say. Jesus says, I'm going to serve you to the degree where I'm going to inflict all the pain and evil of the world on myself. I mean, if you think about it, it's it's totally upside down. Now, I'm not trying to say this tonight to make any kind of geopolitical points. I don't think Jesus was either. I'm just trying to say Jesus is trying to teach once again, there is another way. My kingdom does not work like the kingdom of the world. Church leadership shouldn't work like. I remember going to a fairly, I'm not going to name names, but I remember going to a very popular church of its day with a very popular leader in his day. And I was there at the church conference, and he just kind of casually talked about how, there are different gifts and different ministries in his church. And one person's ministry was to just kind of take his clothes and do his dry cleaning and do awesome errands, and saves me a lot of time to minister to the people for the week. And I'm just like, and that's just a real ministry for our, this pastor was acting like that was a real ministry to the church. This guy was doing all this dry cleaning and basically being an errand boy. And I'm like, I remember sitting there going, I don't know if that's quite what ministry means. I mean, I think leaders should equip people to minister to their community. I mean, a leader shouldn't be, all right, who wants to be my errand boy? Oh, great, you're a good servant leader. Now go iron my clothes or take my clothes. But that was just kind of how he was talking. And I remember, and sure enough, it was many years later, that leader did not last. And we've seen some different stories of leaders that have abused their power in churches. Why? Because it was very top down. Now, like I said before we started, I don't think we want a church leader that goes, well, I don't know what we're doing. At some point, you have to have some leadership and direction and confidence. I'm not knocking that. But it also has to be led by servanthood. And instead of top down, we're building ministry leaders to build up. And so the style is backwards. And that's what Jesus is trying to teach his disciples. We want to be number one. We want to do this. We can't wait to tell people what to do. And that's not the way my kingdom works. We are going to serve. Instead, I didn't come to rule over you like that. I came to die on the cross for you. And those that want to follow me will have to take up their cross and deny themselves. You're going to have to be a servant too. And, Jesus created that for us. We talked a lot about that on Wednesday nights, that he created so many scenarios to where he was not forcing himself on us. We chose him. Are we doing the same thing to our communities? We don't want to manipulate people or boss people around into accepting Christ, or you better accept Jesus or else. That's not going to go very well. Couple of our global empires wanted to share Christianity. I'm like, I said, good luck sharing Jesus after you conquer them. You don't want to drive through tanks and then say, oh, well, Jesus loves you. And they're like, oh, no, that will work. It's like, yeah. So, yeah, but yeah, same thing with us. We can't force people into loving Jesus. We can't order people into loving Jesus. We can't coerce people into loving Jesus. He says that's how the world works. I mean, if we could just make it a law, right? Everybody's got to follow Jesus, the end, or you go to jail. Is that anywhere in the Jesus ministry? I mean, if we got enough Christians together and made enough votes and passed enough laws, we could probably pull that off. But Jesus says that's not what I've come to do. And there's a lot of us, we'd love to be what James and John wanted to be, just to be in power and tell everybody what to do, and this is how it is, and this is how it goes, and this is how, wouldn't that be great? Jesus says that's not the way it works. And if I did do it that way, what are people going to think of Jesus? What are people going to think of us? Yeah, they didn't like the Roman Empire very much. Yeah, they're going to want to break free from it. Jesus wouldn't be something compelling or lovely or beautiful. Jesus would be some kind of tyrant that everybody want to break free from. So I'll leave that where it is. But so Jesus says, I come to serve. So maybe just as we close our devotion tonight, again, I'm not trying to make geopolitical points, but let's just try to be really simple tonight. In your everyday world, as you're working with other people, think about this. Am I wanting them to serve me? In other words, I want to get other people to do what I want them to do, and this is what I want, and this is where I think it should be. And so, as a teacher, this is really hard because some degree I gotta be in charge of the classroom, but at the same time, I gotta serve my kids and love my kids and know what's best for them and design lesson plans that are good for them in a way that serves them. I still gotta be in charge because that would be chaos, but I still gotta serve my kids and love my kids and put them first. And the classroom exists for them. It doesn't exist for me. Same way with church, and the same way with, So what, as you're thinking, am I expecting the world to bow down to me and do what I want? The people that I work with, am I more concerned about getting my way and doing what I want and getting people to agree with me? Or just very simple, like just think about your day tomorrow. Are you wanting the world to revolve around you, or are you ready just to serve the world? Jesus says you've got to be a slave to all. And Gail Irwin talked a lot about that word. Nobody signs up to be a slave, but I think Jesus is extreme to make a point. We're here to serve. And if you're here to serve the world and show them, what difference does that make to serve the world instead of the name of Jesus? Instead of, I'm going to rule the world or rule over you or boss you or be the boss in the name of Jesus. What's the difference?
I think it all boils down to motive.
Okay, that's exactly what we're talking about. Why does the motive make a difference?
Who we do it for.
Yeah.
I really don't think Jesus came with the motive of ruling the world
Yeah.
as much as setting an example for the disciples of the
Yeah.
point so that they could end up where we're all going.
Yeah. Saving the world. Leading the world to heaven. Yeah. 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 If you want to rule over the world, it's all about who? Me. If you want to rule over the world, it's all about me. Yeah. And you're going to use people to get what you want. Don't people know that when they're being used? Maybe not always. Maybe not always. Yeah. It's hard to know. But yeah. You can tell when someone's putting other people first or where they're using other people to put them first. Maybe they can't always tell.
I think they probably can, but they don't know what to do about it.
They don't know what to do about it, maybe. Yeah. It's a rare thing these days to find people that say, no, I really want to help you. I really want to put you first. That's why we exist. And I think if any group or organization should be that, shouldn't it be the church? We're here to serve. The community's not here to serve us. We're here to serve the community. What can we do? What can we help to make Christ's name more glorified? Yeah, that kind of broke my heart. The leader was like, that's service, whoever can serve me. And he was kind of at the top of the pyramid. It's like, no, I don't think that's what servanthood should be about at all. It's how can we serve each other? How can we serve our community? So think about that this week, and I'll think about that too. Just in my day tomorrow, did I expect others to serve me? Did I expect the world? Did I expect to kind of rule over the world, right? Or did I really look for a way to make a difference in others? Because a lot of us, let's be honest, we're not going to be involved in geopolitics or anything like that. That's not even an option for us. But most of us just kind of our normal everyday lives. We're not running for mayor or dog catcher. We're not running for much of anything. But I guess we can be involved in politics. That's always something to watch out for and how we vote and what we do. But most of us are just kind of living everyday lives. And how do I, am I serving my family? Am I serving my community? Am I expecting the world to serve me? We kind of had a lesson on that last week, having the boundaries to keep it safe. So that's what I'll just kind of leave you guys with tonight, as it's already running a little later than I wanted it to. Just the Jesus style of serving instead of lording it over people. And coming to God. We don't want to be like James and John's mother to Jesus. Oh, Jesus, where shall you put me in charge today? Jesus, where can I serve today? We don't want to ask Jesus to bless us in the name of the world. Jesus, put me in charge of a bunch of stuff, makes a bunch of people obey me. Well, listen to your prayers. Are they more prayers of a servant, or are they more prayers of, Jesus, I want to be in charge of stuff, so can you help me do that? And instead of Jesus, here am I, send me. How can I help the world? So we'll just end there tonight. Please remember the Waller service. We're going to be talking a lot about that here in a minute. But for those of you online, it'll be Saturday. I mentioned Sunday that it would be here. And the reason why they moved it, I haven't been able to talk about it, is just to keep us less going back and forth and traveling on Debbie as possible. with her being there. And there's a chance, I haven't heard, there's a chance she may go home on Friday. We don't know yet. So we're just going to see how she progresses and what she's going to be ready for, and I'll find more about that tomorrow. But when I talked to her Monday, that was the plan, and they were like, whoa, we didn't think about it'd be that soon. So, but then again, having everything right there in Grant City, I don't know if she'll be out for the meal. She might be, she may not be. They're just going to leave that up to how she's feeling and what she feels like doing, because that's the thing. She's also coming off some very serious health issues too, so they're wanting to watch her, be careful for her. So that's why most of the services and everything are there in Granite City. And then the family, and if she feels up to it, she'll come too. They'll come out here at 1:30, and I'll let Carol kind of lead us through that. But if you guys online want to be here to help, I'm sure we could use some helpers. If you want to bring some food or something, contact me, contact Carol, and we can arrange that. Otherwise, be in prayer for the service. It's 8:30 to 10:30 is the visitation. It's early because we got to get to the graveyard by midday. They're only open half a day, I suppose. So the service will be here at the service will be at, the service and visitation will be at Irwin Chapel in Granite City. That's the name of a funeral home, which I've not heard of. I thought, is that a church? Where are we going? And it is a funeral home. It's an oddly named one in my opinion, but that's okay. They say it's been there forever. Irwin Chapel in Granite City. Visitation will be 8:30 to 10:30, and then the service will be there at 10:30, and Pastor Ron from Tower View and I are going to lead that. I think the burial is going to be in Edwardsville, I believe. Glen Carbon. Okay. And then we'll be back here by 1:30. Okay. And I'll pray, and why don't we just sign off and say goodbye to everybody online. And Carol and Ray, I'll let you guys share.